Dear students, the topic of today's class is listening and responding skills. As you all know, that life is not possible without communication, and communication is impossible without listening. It will be very ridiculous to talk in a room which is totally empty and nobody is there to listen what we are saying. It will be very humorous to talk to a mobile phone which is already disconnected. It means that listening is very important for communication life. But listening and hearing are two different things. Hearing is a physiological process of decoding sounds. When the sound vibrations strike the middle bones of the ear, and these vibrations are translated into electrical impulses which reaches the brain, we hear something. But listening is something different. अक्सर हमने ये सुना होगा, पेरेंट्स या टीचर्स अपने बच्चों से और या स्टूडेंट से ये कहते हैं कि आप सुन रहे हैं या नहीं। तो उनका कहने का मतलब ये होता है कि आप सुन भी रहे हैं और नहीं भी। तो यहाँ पर पहले सुनने से मतलब उनका हियरिंग से होता है, और जो सेकंड टाइम वो सुनने का मतलब लेते हैं, दैट इज लिसनिंग। So, hearing is a physiological process, while listening is a complex process we use to make sense out of what we hear. Listening means the true listening involves four activities which are not involved in hearing. The first activity is selecting. There are so many sounds in our environment which are present at a moment, but we do not pay attention to all those sounds. We simply select the sound, or we can say that we pay attention to only those sounds which are in accordance with our requirement. For example, if we are in a room and there are so many sounds like the sound of the fan, the sound of the TV, and the talking of many people around. But if we are waiting for a person to come to our home, we will only pay attention to the sound of the main gate. If somebody opens the gate, we automatically select that sound and pay attention to that sound because we are waiting for that person. So we make selection out of the sounds which are present at a given moment. Second important activity is attentive. Our attention is very flickering and it shifts from one thing to another thing. But we pay attention to only those things which are as per our needs. For example, if we are hungry, we will pay more attention to those things which can satisfy our hunger. So, which thing will attract our attention? It depends on so many things. We are more attracted to those things which are novel, which capture our attention. For example, when we are reading the newspaper, we pay more attention to the negative news. It's a human tendency. If something positive is happening around, we don't pay much attention to those things, but things which attract our attention. When there is conflict, when there is any accident or murder or any sort of things which is different from our routine life, we pay more attention to that news. And the new ideas, we can say the new ideas, the concrete things, the novel things, the more colorful things which are presented in a newspaper or presented in an attractive manner, we pay more attention to those news. Third important component of listening is understanding. Understanding is the process through which we provide meaning to whatever sound we hear. There is no universal theory of explaining how do we understand. But in simple words, we can say that we understand those things, we understand those behaviors through which we can connect easily. For example, we can easily connect with Hindi language if we are Hindi speaking person. हिंदी में अगर हम बोलते हैं, हमारी रोजमर्रा की भाषा हिंदी है, तो हिंदी में हम चीज़ों से या बातों से आसानी से जुड़ पाते हैं और कनेक्ट हो पाते हैं. इसी प्रकार जिन लोगों की भाषा इंग्लिश है या अंग्रेजी है, वो अंग्रेजी में बोले जाने वाली चीज़ों से बहुत आसानी से जुड़ पाते हैं और उनको समझ पाते हैं. हम अपने समान कल्चर के लोगों से, अपने समान धर्म के लोगों से, अपने समान आयु वर्ग के लोगों से ज़्यादा अच्छी तरह से जुड़ पाते हैं या उन लोगों से ज़्यादा अच्छी तरह जुड़ पाते हैं जिनके समान अनुभव होते हैं. तो अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड विद अवर कनेक्टेडनेस. हम कितना किसी चीज़ से कनेक्ट कर पाते हैं, उतना ही अच्छा हम उस चीज़ को समझ पाते हैं. द फोर इम्पॉर्टेंट aspect of listening is remembering. If we have given full attention to certain things or certain aspects, we can better remember that thing. If we listen anything with full understanding, it becomes easier for us to remember those things. And as you know, that there are two important systems of memorizing, that is short-term memory and long-term memory. In short-term memory, we remember the day-to-day activities like phone numbers or telephone books numbers, or the number of our mobile or number of our vehicle, and the mobile numbers which we usually use in our daily life. And in long-term memory, we store the memory of events and conversations and long episodes or events. So my idea of explaining these things is that if we listen anything, it means that we include all these four activities, which are selecting, attending, understanding, and remembering. There are four reasons for listening. The question arises, why do we listen? It means we listen because of there are certain reasons of listening. First is enjoyment. We listen because we enjoy the information which is being imparted by the other person. Suppose, for example, we are listening to a friend and he or she is narrating a story which provides us with some enjoyment. Then we pay attention to those things which provide us with some enjoyment. Second, we listen because we learn something from listening. Uh, for example, you people are listening to me because you want to learn what are the barriers in listening and responding. So we listen because we learn by listening. Third reason of listening is evaluation. Sometimes we listen to other person because we just want to utilize the information which we are listening, which we are gathering through listening, and later on we can use that information for the evaluation of that person. So another reason for listening is evaluation of other people. And the last one is empathizing. If we listen because we want to understand the viewpoint of other person, we want to feel in the same way as the other person is feeling. So another reason for listening is empathizing with another person. So these are the four reasons why we listen. And it's a common fact that we most of the problems in relationships are due to poor listening skills. And it is usually being seen during counseling sessions that all the relationship problems, the relationship between friends, the relationship between parents and child, the relationship between other persons are due to poor listening habits or poor listening skills. So there are certain barriers to listening. If we can understand those barriers, we can solve many relationship problems or the problems which arise due to our communication with other people while pursuing our life goals. Because no goal in life can be achieved without developing the communication skills. And in these communication skill, listening is a very important skill. First important barrier to listening is that we focus on our personal agenda. If we meet a person with an assumption that the person is boring, and if we meet a person that we know that the information which will be given to by that person, we already know that, so we don't understand the need of listening to that person, and we just think that we are wasting our time while listening the other person. So if we are focusing on the personal agenda instead of focusing on what the other person is saying, then it becomes a barrier to listening. The second important barrier of listening is the emotional noise. When we are communicating with other person and the words of another person are arousing certain emotions within us, because words have power. They can arouse certain emotions like fear, anxiety, jealousy. And if we are experiencing these emotions, these emotions can cloud our uh, judgment or selective process, and we will not focus our attention on the words which are being told by the other person, but rather we will focus on our own emotions which we are experiencing at the present time of communication. So this is an important barrier in listening. And another barrier is criticizing the speaker. If we have judgmental attitude, if we understand or decide that the other person is a particular type of person, and if we are distracted by the appearance of that person, by the non-verbal information which is being given, the clothes of that person or the physical appearance or the gender of that person, we will not pay attention to the content which is being spoken by that person. Rather, we will focus on our criticism, our judgment about that person, and it becomes the barrier of the listening behavior. Another important factor is the disproportionate relationship between speech rate and the thought rate. And the researchers reveal that in a day, in per minute, a person can focus upon 25 words with full understanding, while the thought rate is too much high. And it has been found that we undergo the 6,000 words, 6,000 thoughts per day. So if we are listening to a single word and we are just want to listen that behavior, the speech rate and understanding rate is slower than the thinking rate. If there is disproportion as high, then this becomes a barrier to listening. Next reason is information overload. We are living in an age of information technology, information overload. We are getting so much information through internet, WhatsApp, mobile, or many other sources. We are bought with so much information overload, and it becomes a barrier to listening. And we are just seeing this thing in the present time of COVID-19, that if we bogged ourselves with too much information gathered through newspapers, TV channels, we become prey of strong negative emotions and negative thinking. Then it becomes a barrier to our listening. And the last point is the external noise. When we are listening to someone else, we are distracted due to external noise, the noise coming around, the loud music, maybe a noise, or if the two persons are talking with each other, it can be an external noise, and due to which we may not pay attention to the important content of listening. There are certain faulty listening behaviors, and if we pursue those listening behaviors, we it becomes a barrier to our listening. For example, some people are pseudo listeners. Pseudo listening is an imitation of the real listening. The pseudo listeners pose that they are listening with the help of their body language. They look into the eye of the person, they nod, they smile at the right time, and often, usually, they respond occasionally. But behind that appearance of interest, something entirely different goes on in their head, and they are not in fact listening, but simply they are giving an impression to other person that they are listening, but they are in fact not listening. So they are the pseudo listener. Some people are selective listeners. They respond only to the part of the speaker's remarks that interests them and reject the other information. This is also a faulty listening behavior. Some people are defensive listeners, and the defensive listeners take innocent comments as personal attacks. अक्सर ये होता है जैसे कि टीनेजर्स अगर सपोज दे आर कमिंग लेट to their home, तो पेरेंट्स पूछते हैं कि why did you come so late, but they take this comment as a threat, and they just are bogged with negative emotions, and they understand that their parents are being suspicious to them. So, the people who have low self-esteem usually use this behavior, defensive listening. They don't listen the content of what is being said, but rather they think that they are being threatened by the comments of other person. Some people are ambitious. Ambitious listen carefully, but only because they are collecting information to attack what you have to say. The cross examination prosecution is a good example of ambitious, and using this strategy will lead to defensiveness on the other's behalf. Another faulty listening behavior is insulated listening. Insulated listeners are almost opposite to their selective listening uh, counterparts, and instead of looking for something specific, these people avoid to it. Whenever a topic arises, they would rather fail to hear it, or rather acknowledge it. If they are reminded about a problem, they will nod or answer and then promptly forget what you have just said. And it can be said that they hear other people like a deaf person. Another poor listeners are listening behavior is the insensitive listeners, and the insensitive listener only pay attention to the words of the other person or the verbal aspect of the other person, and they just ignore the non-verbal aspects of other person, how the words are being pronounced, what is the body language of other person. They just ignore it, and they take the remarks at face value. Another, some people are stage hoggers, and these people just try to mold the topic of conversations to themselves instead of showing interest in the speakers. These are the faulty listening behaviors which become barrier to listening. Now the question arises how we can improve our listening skills. There are certain steps. First step is to stop. We must understand that where we have to stop, because the message given by God is that we don't have any mechanism of stopping our ears, but we have a mechanism to stop our mouth. So we have to hear more, we have to listen more, rather we have to speak. So we have to learn where to stop. And what is to be stopped? We have to stop our internal dialogue, the running commentary which is going on in our head, running commentary about our issues, our ideas. It means we have to decenter ourselves. By decentering is meant that stepping away from our own concerns and our own thinking. We have to pay attention to other person's thought, and for this, we have to develop the competence of deciding where to stop. but sometimes it becomes difficult because uh, some people are conscious or unconscious about their competence and incompetence. We have both competencies and deficiencies. If we are conscious about our competence, then we can achieve many things. But if we unconsciously follow our competence, it means we are a wise person. On the other hand, if we are conscious about our incompetence, we can work upon it and try to improve. But if we are not conscious, means if we are unconscious about our incompetence, then the problem arises because somebody has to remind us about our incompetence. There are certain behavior which we use unconsciously. सपोज नॉन वर्बल बिहेवियर, अगर हम बोलते समय बार बार अपनी आंख झपकाते हैं या कुछ नॉन वर्बल बिहेवियर ऐसे करते हैं जो कि हमें पता नहीं कि हम ऐसा करते हैं और उसका प्रभाव दूसरे पर पड़ता है, तो अगर दूसरा व्यक्ति हमें याद दिलाएगा या बार बार इंडिकेट करेगा तभी हम उस बिहेवियर को इम्प्रूव कर पाते हैं। तो कहाँ पर हमें स्टॉप करना है, इसके लिए हमें कभी कभी किसी दूसरे व्यक्ति की मदद लेने की आवश्यकता हो सकती है। Second step is to look, and by looking means that we have not only to pay attention to the verbal content, but rather we have to look the non-verbal messages, because non-verbal messages are the powerful ways to communicate the feelings, emotions, and our attitudes. For listening to, for looking those behaviors, we can only understand that sometimes we may find the incongruence or contradiction between verbal and non-verbal communication. And if such situations arise, we should always focus on non-verbal communication, because we can believe the non-verbal messages which are being given by the other person, which are the more authentic while communicating the ideas of other person. And the third step is listening, about which we were talking about in this lecture. And the two important things are, we have to summarize the details of messages which is being given by other person, and we have to mentally weave the summaries into focus major points or series of ideas. Sometimes the messages which is being given by other person may not be clear, and so many things may be the information may be given by the other person, and we have to summarize the details of the message. We have to focus on the main points or the focus point, the essence what the other person wants to communicate to us, and only then we will be able to focus the major points of the communication. Apart from these three stages, there are certain strategies to improve listening skills. First is the sustained concentration. We have to focus on the other person's major ideas, and for which we need to have sustained attention. We should have the capability to concentrate. If our attention is flickered, we will not be able to understand the main points of the other person, and it will become a barrier to listening. And listening is, of course, a challenging activity which requires a lot of practice, lot of self understanding, and lot of habits, lot of thinking about overcoming our bad listening habits, because we develop so many habits which prolong to over the years. And while if we are really concentrated, if we want to improve our listening behaviors, we have to unlearn those habits and transform listening barriers into listening goals. First, we have to understand our listening, our agenda of improving our listening skills. For example, if we are listening to a person which provides a challenging material, the things which the other person is saying is inculcating certain negative emotions within us. So we have to understand, we have to work upon those negative emotions. If we become too much judgmental while listening to other person, we have to work upon our habit of being judgmental. If we are not very much concerned about our non-verbal behavior, if we are not able to understand the negative non-verbal behaviors, then we have to focus on it. And lastly, we can say that we have to decide on which type of habit we have to work upon, because by focusing on our personal agenda of improving our listening skills, we can only improve upon. And the next thing is responding. And responding is also very much important aspect of communication, because while responding, we just communicate that we are understanding, we have understood the messages which is being given by the other person. And it is through responding that the communication process undergoes further. And it is also very clear that we only not only respond verbally, but we also respond non-verbally. So we have to focus on both the aspects of verbal responding and non-verbal responding. Sometimes we have to confirm that we are understanding the messages of other person, and sometimes, or I must say that always, we have to give impression to other person that we are empathizing with other person. And by empathy, we means that we are feeling the same things, we are thinking the same thing which the other person is trying to communicate. And if we want to improve our responding skills, there are certain strategies of improving responding skills. First is to ask questions. Sometimes the story told by other person may be very vague, disorganized, and we have to clarify the things what the other person is trying to say. And for this, we have to ask certain questions to understand what the other person is trying to say, what is the sequence of events which he or she wants to convey. And for this, we have to ask questions. And for asking questions, it is better to ask open-ended questions, because if we ask closed-ended questions, then the answer will be in simply in terms of yes or no. But if we ask open-ended question, the will give opportunity to other person to speak more and more. And secondly, we have to reflect the content by paraphrasing. By using such sentences, are you saying this? You want to say something? और what you are saying, what I am understanding, जो हम कह रहे हैं और जो दूसरा पर्सन कह रहा है, उसमें एक मैच होना चाहिए. और इसके लिए हम उस सेंटेंसेस को जो कि दूसरे व्यक्ति ने बोले हैं, उसको दूसरे शब्दों में पैराफ्रेज करके उसके थॉट्स को या उसके कंटेंट को, उसकी फीलिंग्स को दूसरे शब्दों में पैराफ्रेज करके पूछ सकते हैं, और इसको वैलिडेट कर सकते हैं कि जो हम समझ रहे हैं और जो दूसरा पर्सन कहना चाह रहा है, वो एक ही चीज़ है. तीसरी रेस्पॉन्डिंग स्किल है कि जो हमें रेस्पॉन्स देनी है वो उचित समय पर देनी है. वी हैव टू प्रोवाइड अ वेल टाइम्ड रेस्पॉन्स. And what will be the exact time will depend on our motto of communication. For example, if we are teaching a skill to someone, we have to provide earliest possible feedback. For example, if somebody is learning how to cycle, तो साइकिल अगर वो सीख रहा है, उस समय वो क्या गलती कर रहा है, उस समय उसको एग्जैक्ट उसी समय पर बताना पड़ेगा कि वो पैडल पे अपना पैर ठीक से रख रहा है, वो हैंडल को ठीक से पकड़ रहा है या नहीं, या वो किस तरह से प्रेशर डाल रहा है पैडल्स पे. तो वो उसी समय पर हमें उसको अर्लीस्ट पॉसिबल फीडबैक देना होगा, अगर इफ द अदर पर्सन इज ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड learn a skill. Sometimes delayed feedback can be a right option, because if other person is upset by the emotion, is very sensitive, so giving the feedback at the right at the earliest will be a wrong strategy. And we can have delayed feedback. It will be a wise decision to give a delayed feedback to a very sensitive person. And sometimes a just in time response will be a suitable one. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसे कि पेरेंट्स कहते हैं कि जब मैथ्स का सम कर लिया है, या टीचर्स कहते हैं तो उसको एक बार रिवाइज कर लो, उसको एक बार देख लो, तो इट्स जस्ट इन टाइम रिस्पॉन्स. तो वी हैव टू डिसाइड व्हेन इज द राइट टाइम टू प्रोवाइड द feedback or respond. Another important thing is to provide useful information and avoid unnecessary details. Uh, we have to think that what information, which type of information which we are giving to the other person will be of any use or not. Sometimes we see that the information which we are giving to other person may not be of any use to him or her. And you can understand it better that if we are trying to teach uh, crow to speak words, it will be our wrong efforts, because a crow cannot learn to speak words. Rather, if we are trying efforts to make it clear to a parrot, if we are trying efforts to make a parrot learn few words, it will be our right choice. हम किसी को जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं, हमें ये समझना चाहिए कि वो उसके लिए कितनी यूजफुल होगी. अगर वो बहुत इस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन है जो कि उसके लिए यूजफुल नहीं है, तो वो इंफॉर्मेशन हम अवॉइड कर सकते हैं. और इसके लिए हमें ये सोचना होगा कि अगर हम उसकी जगह पर होते तो हम उस इंफॉर्मेशन का क्या करते, क्या उस इंफॉर्मेशन से हमारा बेनिफिट होता और परिस्थितियां इम्प्रूव करती, या फिर उस इंफॉर्मेशन से हमारा कोई भी लाभ नहीं होता. तो हम वैसी इंफॉर्मेशन दें जो कि दूसरे व्यक्ति के लिए यूजफुल हो, ये बहुत आवश्यक है. अगर हम किसी ऐसे व्यक्ति को फीडबैक दे रहे हैं जो कि बहुत सेंसिटिव है, ओवरवेलमिंग है, और उसको हम बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन एक ही समय पर दे रहे हैं, तो वो उसके लिए यूजफुल नहीं होगी. तो वी हैव टू डिसाइड टू हिट ओनली द राइट पॉइंट्स टू द राइट पर्सन in the right amount. Only then we can be said to have good responding skills. Another important responding skills is that we have to provide descriptive feedback to other person rather than evaluative feedback. For example, if we are making judgment that the other person is a poor driver, so it will be an evaluative judgment or evaluative response. But if we are giving that person a descriptive response, it means if we are saying that आप 80 किलोमीटर पर आवर के हिसाब से ड्राइव कर रहे हैं, बट जो रोड है वो इट इज अ जोन ऑफ 40 किलोमीटर पर आवर, तो इट इज अ डिस्क्रिप्टिव फीडबैक, जिसमें आप उसको बता भी रहे हैं कि आप 40 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटे की रफ्तार वाली सड़क पर आप 80 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटे की रफ्तार से गाड़ी चला रहे हो. तो ये एक डिस्क्रिप्टिव स्टेटमेंट है जिससे कि दूसरे पर्सन को ऑफेंसिव भी फील नहीं होगा, एंड द अदर पर्सन may think about improving the driving skill. So these are certain points which we can focus on our responding skills. And lastly, I would like to conclude my lecture by saying that there is no set manual of listening and responding skills. We have to practice it, and only by practicing, only by learning through our experiences, only by learning through our errors, we can understand that whether it is workable or not. So it is simply a matter of practice, matter of self-learning and improvement. Thank you so much.